Hey, Blue Table fans! Welcome to my ever so humble painting station. Little LED lamp, very basic materials. I've been watching Japanese woodworking videos, and those make me happy and inspire me to do my art. In the last video, you really couldn't see what I was doing because I'm blocking it with this hand, so I'm going to try and turn myself just a little bit and let you see maybe just a little bit more of the action. Oh, that brush is so soft. That's nice. Let's get that worked out just a little bit. Unstiffen those bristles. Today I'm working on troll bloods. I've got 41 troll bloods to paint. This is for a friend of mine from Valhalla, and he commissioned me to paint them. Well, the studio, rather. I just happen to be interested in doing this one. Now, in the background, you're going to hear the shush of cars. This is a main avenue. I wouldn't call it like a freeway or something. It's just nice. I just have to tell you, I really like my life in Salt Lake. It is so nice. Okay, pale sand is what we're going to need for these base coats. And we're also going to need light gray, and I know I have some. Here we go. Oh, you also get to hear my chair squeaking. Won't that be nice for you? So there it is. So I've been having a good time. You know, I'm able to calm my mind very quickly. And anyone that's known me very well knows that, boy, I really do need to calm my mind. I'm a very mercurial individual. Oop, there's a command guy for the thin blades. You know, you guys can't really see these, so there's a fat can. Am I doing this right? Oh no, that's like way near the top. There you go. Sorry about that. This is really an audio program when it comes down to it. There you go. That's better. So we got a thin blade here. And those are really great models. They're in resin. Some people call it plastic. It's a very plastic-like material, but I wouldn't use plastic glue on it if I were you. And look at the size comparison. Like, this is a light war beast, and this is an infantry figure. So there's definitely a size difference in the two. And this guy's huge compared to like a regular infantryman. Troll bloods are pretty scary, guys. Troll bloods are not to be trifled with. So I'm just kind of setting them up here. I'm just going to move them back and forth. In fact, yeah, I'll move these from back to forward, so there you go. Yeah, I did all the prep work on these. I think you guys were in on that one. And it's been about, I don't know, 4 days or so. I've got an army over on the digital photography table, some desert towel. And those are for a client that's been working with us since 2006. So yeah, BTP's been around for a while, and I have a lot of really good clients, really great fan base, including you guys. So thanks for tuning in. I'm still getting like emails from people saying, hey, I've been watching your videos for many years. Now okay, so let's do a test. Here's where I find out if I have it on too thick. Nope, it's okay. It's okay. And I think this brush, I picked a bigger brush because I thought it might go faster. Oh yeah, and it is. It's going to work out great. Oh my gosh, that's working out perfectly. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, the brush was bigger, and sometimes those tend to hold the paint more. And when you're talking about ghost brushing something, well, you can't have big old blobby streaks on it. So there you go. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what he looks like. Regular old troll warrior. You know what? I'm going to move him to the back instead of to the front. And away we go, guys. We're just putting on some nice subtle tones here. We're not trying to force it. We're really just working with it. So back to the Japanese woodworking videos. Oh my gosh, I enjoyed them so much. And they touched on a topic which is near and dear to my heart, the idea of being at harmony with your surroundings. So the guy that they were that they were sort of documenting, he talked about in his craft, he doesn't use nails or screws. It's all like dovetailed, and everything just fits perfectly. And he says you can work with nature or against nature. And so that's what he does in his craft. Like when he's making a table, he gets the grains of the wood to match how the tree was growing in real life, like up and down, like which way was up and which way was down. And it was really cool. It was actually very soothing to watch it. So, oh yeah, this ghost brushing is turning out really good. And if you're doing ghost brushing right, little flecks of paint are there. It's going to be so dry that it's going to be like dust. Like you're going to see little motes of paint actually flying up into the atmosphere, like under your lamp. It's going to be very, very dusty. And dusty and dry. But as you see, in one application, I've managed 4 guys so far. So what I'm doing with these guys is, the typical metal and wood that I do. I may make some variations. But, oh, and look at all, I don't know if you can see it, those little, there you go, like little pieces of the basing are coming off, which is okay. I'd rather it come off now than when I was actually, working a little harder with it. Oh yeah, that's good. I think I'm going to get at least 5 guys off of this. That's great. I don't know. Did I not do the basing well enough? No, it's okay. It's all right. It's working okay. So it's their skin. Their skin is really the unusual element here, and it's got to stick out. So I'm going to do their skin with a wash. Remember those gore gruntas I did? How I had, you know what? I can get 4 guys on 1 saturation. So here comes saturation number 2. I'll have to do 10 for the 41 figures that are in here. And I'm like, seriously, I'm getting rid of 90% of the paint on my brush to do this ghost brush. Ghost brush. So, yeah, those gore gruntas I did like a purple thing on the skin of the mounts, and like a purple wash, and it had water and black paint and purple paint. And when it dried, it gave this nice sort of purplish skin tone to them. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with these guys, but I'm going to use blue paint instead. Yeah, that is a little, like you can definitely notice the first one as opposed to the last one there. See how light and dark they are? So I think this last guy, I'm just going to hit him just a little bit with this and get him to be a little bit lighter, because I am going to go over all these areas with other washes and solid paint. Some solid paint. Not too much now. And if you do your washes right, they will not really look like washes. They'll look like actual, have a very matte finish to them. Just depends on how you do them. Any technique can be done well or done poorly. Some people are like, glazing, inking, dry brushing. Yep, those sure are quick methods. They can be, but they can produce a great result, or they can produce an absolutely terrible result. It just depends on how you do them. And so, there you go. So let me tell you about this weird dream I had. Are you ready? So I'm at this ice cream social, right? And I look over and I see Tina Fey with, what's his name? He plays Wolverine. Hugh Jackman. There you go. Hugh Jackman. If you followed my earlier videos, you know how much I don't like Hugh Jackman. Ridiculous. So, Hugh Jackman's kind of my nemesis. So, yeah, and they're sitting there, and she kind of looks over at me, but like the look of, hey, we used to go out, but now I'm with him. And so that was kind of a weird dream. I don't know what to think about that. I've got my interpretation, but I'm not gonna say it publicly. So I go over to get some ice cream. Ready for this? So I opened the freezer, and by the way, I was actually like really cold last night, so the refrigerator was actually mimicking the temperature of my torso. Saturating my brush again, and spinning it around, and really getting those bristles in there. Some people try and spoon up the paint. It's like, no, you got to saturate. Then we're going to desaturate the brush on my cloth over and over again, and just count the strokes. Like I go maybe 20 to 40 strokes on here, and then the deglop again, and I'm spinning the brush in my hand like this. This brush is already starting to wear down just from those 6 guys. Looks like I've only got 3 guys per application. I got to take it a little lighter on this first guy. I got to like not press down so hard. Yeah, this is gonna, guys. These guys are gonna look really good. Look really good. So I figure about a minute per guy. I should be done in an hour with this stage. So you guys are not gonna see the end of these. Oh, you can sure hear those cars going by. It's kind of like rush hour right now. I got to tell you, I really love living in Salt Lake. I mentioned that before, didn't I? All right, so I go to the freezer, I open it up, and inside, I'm looking for my favorite ice cream, which is Tillamook chocolatey chip cookie dough right now. Love that ice cream. And I look, and the flavor that I pull it's bacon. It's eggs and bacon with shells included. Is the ice cream, and I'm like, that sounds disgusting. But I was like, some people might like that. That they like the crunch of the shells, and I certainly do like a little crunchy stuff in my ice cream, but not eggshells. Gross. So yeah, I mean. And this dream could not be more sexual. So anyway, eggs, meat, cream. I mean, come on. My subconscious is so obtuse. I'm like, come on, dude. You're lacking subtlety. Seriously. I wonder where that last warrior is. Ah, there he is. Haha, there's 10 of them. The warriors and the fin blades occupy like half of the models in this army. They're going to be good. Are these champions? I think they're just warriors. They're just regular Troll Blood warriors. I got to tell you, I have lost track of War Machine. Yeah. In fact, I threw out all my old War Machine books. And you might be like, no, Sean, no, let me come get them. Too late. They're already at the landfill. And they got rained on, too. So, I put them out by the curb like, hey, do you want these? It's all right. I'll collect more. I will collect more. Not a problem. But, boy, getting time to actually play these games is really the problem. A little bit of the base, the slot of base is still showing through the bottom. Got to get that. Got to tend to that. Oh, I checked my project list. And, BTP has been like booked to the gills for the longest time. booked beyond the gills, And I got to tell you, it's awesome. It's really good. But, I'm looking for a more manageable load right now in order for me to give it more attention. I want to give each project more attention. And I think that's really the trick. Like when people start to do this, they don't know they don't realize the brain power that's going to be required, the amount of attention and concentration and all the detail that's going to go in. Because invariably the projects become... Does he have a breastplate on? Yeah, he does. A big old breastplate. Oh, he's armored. Wow. Is that his armor or his arm? I think it's his arm. Okay, got it. Wow, I'm going to have to be really careful with these guys to make sure I do the right process to the right location. So anyway, oh, that looks good. That looks really good. That's some kind of champ. I think that's the new plastic champions. There, yeah, here's another one. And here's another one. And here's another one. There should be one more. Let's see if I can find him. No, oh, that's a fin blade command. Good. Oh, and there's my other champion. Perfect. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! I found them all. I'm so good. Like I knew I would. That's my song for today. Hold on, there should be another command guy. What is... Oh, okay, that guy's weird. That's a bagpiper. That's not what I needed. There's a bouncer, troll bouncer. I think I got it. I think I got it. Okay, good. Let's saturate again. Wow, so many of those little pieces of rock are coming off. What am I going to do to make those guys stick down? Maybe a wash over the top and like mix in some Elmer's glue in there, and I think that'll help hold those rocks on. Of course, whatever's left after I brush them are obviously the ones that aren't going to come off. Should have put more glue on there, I think. But it's okay. Everything can be fixed at a later stage. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 40 strokes ought to do it. Deglop it. Probably 20 more strokes. Yep, there you go. I think I'm good. I've become interested recently, like I've started counting everything. God, what am I turning into? Turning into? What are you talking about? I've always been a little OCD about my stuff. So I've like counting processes. It only takes me 90 seconds to shave. It only takes me 2 minutes to put away my bedding in the morning. Or make the bed, I guess, rather. So there's that. Interesting, right? Alright, so Japanese woodworking. Do I have any more comments about that? No, it's just pretty cool about how he talked about working with nature or against nature. That's very much a topic of interest to me in life right now. I think I mentioned that on the last video. I call it resting state, where like what happens when you're not like desperation moving, you know? And I don't know about you, but I've gone through a good part of my life like just trying to figure out how to get through the next week, you know? It's like, well, what if you just stop? Do you die? Do you suffer? Like, what really happens? And what I've found is that's actually when the suffering stops. All the worry stops. It's not worth it. And so, okay. In other news, I'm starting a Pathfinder game, playing it online with a group. They're a group that already exists. There's a guy named Josh who came to Valhalla. He's been to like 4 Valhallas now, I think, maybe even more than that. We've done 14, I think, 14, maybe 15. And, you know, some of them only had like 12 people, but that still counts. And, oh, so this is what I end up with. Something that looks like that. There you go. So he's got some definition already. And, you know, right now I'm just putting on my very, very boring, basic coats, you know. This is the boring part. But if you do layers, if you do like layers and then another layer and then another layer and then another layer, eventually you end up with a very organic, oh, I can actually smell that paint. That's how dusty this layer is. In fact, I don't know, maybe you guys can even see the little motes of paint particles in here. What's funny is this layer is going to get their teeth. It's going to get their teeth really well and give them this nice teeth sort of look to them. Oh, that was a little light. I got to resaturate. Get the little pieces off. Get my ivory color on there again. Yep. So, yeah, with nature or against nature. So there's that. Oh yeah, Pathfinder. That's where we were. So I really want to run Iron Gods. And what's interesting is almost every adventure path pays homage to some kind of old D&D series. Like the Giant Slayer series is obviously against the giants. But Iron Gods, which has like technology in it, Numeria, like spaceships have actually crashed on the world of Pathfinder. And so it actually pays homage to Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Who here remembers that? Without looking it up, can you tell me the code letters like C3 or, you know, B1 or whatever it is for that module. Can you tell me what it is? I bet some of you can. Okay, because all the old D&D modules used to have like a code. Like A1 through A4 was the Against the Slavers series, and a lot of them were competitions at Gen Con. The original Gen Con was in Gary Gygax's basement. They call it Gen Con 0, and there were like 20 people there, you know. And then they rented a hall for like $50 the next year. You know, reading the whole history, at first blush I was like, yeah, those guys kind of screwed the master over, like Gary Gygax. Like they maneuvered him out of his own company. And I thought that was pretty crass. But, you know, reading it and kind of getting an idea for it, I'm like, well, you know, it kind of made sense, actually, you know. Because some people are creative types and some people are run the company types, you know. I was kind of both, am kind of both, you know. I have pretty good attention to detail. Once I start assigning it to other people, though, I tend to not worry about it so much, you know, for good or ill. So anyway, where was I? Oh, so I wanted to do Iron Gods, and of course as the DM I could have just made it whatever I wanted. But I was walking into an established group, so I wanted to run something that they would like. And I'm not, you know, I'm not in it to run all 6 adventure paths, which, by the way, probably takes a good year to 2 years to do it. Because it runs an adventure path, which is 6 modules, takes characters from level 1 to level 18. Their 18th level by the end. Isn't that amazing? I got to tell you, that's quite a campaign, especially if you're doing like regular, you know, and this is like by the book advancement, you know, where they're getting experience points the regular way. And I realized as I was prepping for this and sort of interacting with this established group, I realized that these guys were kind of play it by the book group. Like they're used to spending 3 silver pieces to, you know, spend the night somewhere, and you know, and I've always like just done away with those considerations and let my players. So I've been running epic games basically without even knowing it. But the thing is, if I want to do ultimate fantasy role playing, I'm going to have to attract people from around the world, attract these groups who are going to make a major investment of time and money to come out to my thing. And so I'm going to have to learn how to actually play the game, you know, the way that it is written, the way that it's written in the rule book. And so yeah, it's time for me to really learn the experience points and stuff like that. My strength as a DM is basically making stuff up as I go along, you know, making things out of whole cloth and doing it so naturally that it doesn't seem like I'm making it up. You know, it seems like it's real. Like in my mind's eye, I can see that room and I can create details just off the top of my head. So that's made me a very strong DM, and I've never lacked players. Like whenever I was like, hey, I'm running a new adventure or a new campaign, I would just have dozens of people. This is back in Oregon, who would just be rallying to be in it. I ran I think it was, what was it, the summer of 96, I ran the Dragonlance series, all 14 modules, and I had right around 10 players. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, I got 20 guys done. How am I doing on time? 24 minutes. That's not so good. I'm spending about 1.5 minutes per guy. But you know what? They're turning out really good. The quality is good, so I'm going to call it good. So I'm halfway done in 25 minutes. Isn't that nice? I think that's really great. And these guys are going to look really good. Whoa, tons of glop on that one. Oh boy. Yeah, I better give it another go on the cloth here. Okay, that feels good. Like I said, these big brushes can really hide that glop in there, and that can that can make your ghost brushing turn out not so great. Ooh, good. Yeah, that's picking out the detail really good. Ha ha ha. Awesome. I'm loving it. This is good. Oh, this is good. We are gonna we're gonna ghost brush them, base layer them, wash them, pick out highlights, and they're gonna look great. They're gonna look abso-frickin-fantastic. Oh yeah, that's good. That makes me happy. Where does it make me happy? Inside my heart. Inside my heart. People are going to use that as a ringtone now. Yep, that's how awesome this program is. Okay. I don't need your pity. Okay, so anyway, so this group was like deciding what adventure path they wanted to go on, and we ended up with Curse of the Crimson Throne. And I was just like, oh, I just like gagged a little bit when I read it. I'm like, oh, this is like, seriously, I think it's the most boring one that there is. I mean, it's like, in the second adventure, a plague befalls the city. Can they, get the healing potion in time? Groan. But after I had read through the first adventure path entirely, I was like, wow, this is great. Oh, man. Oh, geez. Paiso has done such a good job on these modules. Because, I mean, and this is like, I was like, this is pretty dark stuff, man. I mean, these were not nice people in this book. I mean, jeez. It was real kind of Game of Thrones stuff going on. So whenever I do a campaign, I think, hey, what is my theme going to be? And at the risk that some of my players may actually listen to this, I know Josh probably will. Hey, Josh, how you doing? I was like, well, what's really the theme here? And I think it's going to be revenge. It's going to be revenge, and like, these are not great people. And so the idea that the heroes either need to sort of be caught up in a tide of blood and hatred, or they're going to have to really find themselves as characters, as human beings inside of this fantasy world, and figure out, sort of like be the light, so to speak, because there certainly won't be any outside of them. And so that's kind of my thing. I'm thinking of picking one character in there, just one, that is truly good. And it'll be hard to know till like maybe even the very end who that is. Which one of those characters that they encounter in this fantasy world is actually, the light against the darkness. But not make that person the hero. Like, the player characters are going to have to be the sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? The things that stand out against the backdrop. But that one pinpoint of light in there is the thing that's going to sort of give that contrast with all the other characters in it, so that independent of the player characters, there's going to be this sort of contrast between light and dark. Not necessarily like good and evil, or like kick the puppy or don't kick the puppy, Not something so cloying, but like really a the vengeance thing. Revenge. So much revenge going on, and this endless cycle of it. We'll see. I got to skim through the other modules and see if that is going to hold up. Well, this is good. I'm really cruising now. I might actually finish these guys by the time I'm done with the video with you. Well, at least for this stage. I meant to do these guys like earlier in the week, but I didn't really get to it. So I'm going to get these base coats on hopefully tonight. you know, this is kind of the boring part of it, where it's like, oh, look at me, I'm doing the same color over the entire figure. After this, of course, comes the light gray, and that only goes on the metal parts. And by the way, lots of metal parts on these guys. I'm still deciding whether I'm going to let their metal be like true metal, or whether I'm going to have it be... Let's get his face. Ah, the paint dust is just flying everywhere in here. Or whether I'm going to make it like rusty, or do something different. I certainly can't make it that bluish metal like I did on my Oryx. Okay, I'm just going to try and get 3 guys here. You guys bored of me yet? I'm at 30 minutes. Boy, if you've been listening to this for 30 minutes, I don't think you have very much going on in life. So I didn't do my Q&As, but you know, I've been busy, so I guess that's good, right? Q&As. I like my eggs with hollandaise. All right. So let us continue. So I talk. Oh, Adventure Pass. So I want to do Lords of, what is it called? Iron Gods. Lords of Rust is the second adventure in the Iron God series. So that's one where there's actually a little bit of technology, but I got to tell you, it really doesn't overpower the adventure. Like, the PCs don't get so much technology, but there's like robots and stuff in it. But it's really well done. They made it make sense and not be overpowering in the setting. You know, there's not like a starfaring race that keeps visiting the planet. There's just a few crashed ships from one incident. So looking at that again, back to ultimate fantasy role playing, like, you know, where it's like tons of really amazing terrain. Guys, all I'm lacking is resources, and, you know, I shouldn't talk like that. I'm excited for the resources to come to me. I think that'll be really cool to get into a workshop, get going on that. So, so I went through one of the modules and I was like, okay, how many boards and how much terrain would I need to make this module come to life, like with all terrain and all miniatures? And it is, are you ready? It's 6 foot by 4 foot boards. So a lot of the encounters will be on 2 foot square boards, and as you know, you can get 6 of those out of a 6 foot by 4 foot board. And some of them will be 4 by 4 and so forth. Oh, these guys are so great, so much detail on them. So much good detail. There we go. That's what that guy looks like. Can you see him? Aha! So still haven't put the gray on. Oh, my hands are all dusty with the paint. That's how dry that paint is. You know what? I'm gonna have to switch my cloth over. Here we go. All right. So